So, big fight this weekend, James. Tyson Fury v Deontay Wilder. So exciting.
It is. It really, really is. You've got two of the biggest men on the planet here. 6'9", 6'7". Two incredibly big athletes here. You've got Tyson Fury, the slickster, moves incredibly well, gifted from a technical standpoint. But then you've got the opposite. You've got Deontay Wilder, who's gifted from a power perspective. This man hits incredibly hard. 39 knockouts out of 40 wins. Even the man who made the distance with him, they had a rematch and then he knocked him out. So every man who's ever stepped foot in a ring with this man has come out unconscious. So it's a dangerous task for Tyson Fury, but I think from a personality standpoint, we're all going to be behind him. We've all bought into his journey and we're hoping he pulls this off.
Yeah, strengths and weaknesses of both fighters. You know, what do you think of that?
Well, as I said, Deontay Wilder carries that game-changing power. But if you look at Tyson Fury's strengths, it's that movement. Men at 6'9" don't tend to move around the ring that quickly. He's so awkward to hit. He can move stances. He can be awkward. He's just difficult. It's hard to replicate him in training as well. Obviously, there's all sorts of sparring, but there's nobody in the world who moves like Tyson. It's just unnatural. And that's going to be his biggest strength in this fight. The only issue is that Tyson's had a lot of time out the ring. He had a 2-year layoff where he ballooned up to 28 stone. It's a hell of a lot of weight to lose in such a quick period of time. That how big a toll has that taken on his body is the question. If it hasn't taken a toll, then Tyson Fury should win this weekend. If it has, he could be in trouble.
Yeah, obviously, you had a few mental health issues, Tyson Fury. Must be an inspiration to people who like that, can see him fighting for a big fight like this.
He is, you know, over the past few years there's been a lot of stigma associated with mental health, especially among men. A lot of people don't want to say they need help because they feel like they're being wimps or they feel like they're embarrassed. But really, there's nothing to be ashamed of. So many people go through this issue. And for the heavyweight champion of the world to stand up and say, I suffer from this problem, it serves as an inspiration that it can literally happen to anybody. He's gone to the deepest, darkest depths of his mind, to the point where he was almost going to kill himself, really. Would have left his family without children. But he's turned it all around. He's lost all that weight. And for all the sort of sports stars around the world who suffer from these issues, for the normal man on the street, to look at what he's done and say, I can do that, I can get better, and this is how we're going to beat depression.
Yeah, obviously the fight is in Los Angeles. Do you think that makes a difference for either fighter?
Yeah, obviously it's on Deontay Wilder's home turf. It's not in Manchester where Tyson got that incredibly good reaction last time out where he fought Salisbury. But Deontay's not quite captured the imagination of the American public, and it sounds bizarre to say for a man who can speak really well, has 39 knockouts in 40 fights, but it just hasn't happened for him. Whereas Tyson has got this aura of just being so likeable, everything that he's gone through, and he's so good on that mic. They've argued back and forth, and Tyson, I think, has got the better of the mind games. With it being in Los Angeles, I don't think necessarily that the crowd are going to boo him. I think they might well be on his side. And we talk about Tyson's life, and it's like a story, it really is. Reaching the absolute peaks of the sport, getting those heavyweight titles, and then losing them, not in the ring, but through outside influences. If he can lose all the weight, come back, win it in Los Angeles, the home of the stars, it's like a Hollywood movie and it couldn't be any more perfect.
Yeah, that'd be a super thing to do for Tyson Fury and his fans. You know, looking at the fight, both fighters geared up for this. Do you think it's kind of one of the biggest fights ever?
Honestly, for me personally, I've never been more emotionally attached to a fight in my life. Tyson Fury's journey means a hell of a lot to me, as it does a lot of other people. You're not going to get two men, 6'9", 6'7", who can talk on the microphone like these two. The mind games have been incredible. The build-up's been incredible. It means so much for the division. It doesn't get any bigger, you're right.
Yeah, and there's loads going on in the boxing world as well this weekend. Tell us all about that.
Yeah, there is. There really is. This fight isn't the only big thing happening. We preview Jeff Horn versus Anthony Mundine. The biggest fight in Australian history, perhaps. It's at the Suncorp Stadium in Brisbane, a rugby stadium, 55,000 people. Australia not really renowned for producing boxing talent, but Jeff Horn's been a bit of a revolution after he beat Manny Pacquiao. And the fact that it's selling so many tickets and they've finally got a big draw, it's tremendous for the sport. As for who wins that one, I think Anthony Mundine, he's pulled off shockers in the past, but he is getting on a bit now, 43. How many times can he keep rolling that dice? I think Jeff Horn's the younger man, and I think he wins. And as similar to Tyson, Jeff Horn dealt with suicidal problems. He was also bullied horrifically at school. He only took up boxing as a way of defending himself. So it's an incredible story for him. In other stuff, sticking with the southern hemisphere, we reviewed Lucas Brown's fight, and we seem to have a theme of mental illness, but Lucas Brown's another man who's dealt with these problems. He obviously captured a world title in Russia against Ruslan Shagiev. Another rocky story there. He came off the canvas to win in Ruslan's back garden. Unfortunately, it's corrupt Russia. His food was spiked, and it resulted in him failing a drugs test. So 2 years out the ring, a ban which he didn't really deserve. But he's come back against Dylan White and didn't look good. He wasn't in any sort of physical condition. He had a bit of an overhang with his belly, not good. And he got done in 6 rounds, and he got done badly. It was a scary knockout, it really was. But some fighters let a defeat define them. Lucas hasn't done that. Lucas has got himself back into a tremendous shape. He won at the weekend by a 5th round knockout, and we're hoping that he can get a few decent paydays to help support his family, really. And lastly, Frank Buglioni. He's been a veteran of the sport for Britain. He's produced some excellent fights against the likes of Jose Everton, Fedor Chunov, etc. He said goodbye to his boxing career after getting beat by Fenlong Meng at the weekend, and we wish him all the best as well in his future.
Yeah, it's going to be a mad day of boxing on Saturday night, and we're going to be covering it all on the Sport Zone on Tuesday. Don't forget to tune in to Salford City Radio.
94.4 FM.